Hi, guys on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere else. Just coming in and sharing today's ramblings. Should I call them that? I'll see whether that's what they get called or whether they become something else. I wanted to just talk about, actually, it's really different with these on. I've just done book clubs, so maybe I should take them off. No, I'll put them back on. Just talking about, again, like I'm sitting here talking to you, you may be listening to me. And as you're sitting there listening to me, I want to see whether you're aware of like what you're thinking about what I'm saying. And it's really interesting because half the time we don't really know what those thoughts are until we know what those thoughts are. So let's just say that you're sitting there listening to me talk, and you may have thoughts around what maybe I'm saying. You may have thoughts around maybe what I look like, what the background looks like, anything like that. But what if you didn't have any of that? You may even say, why is she wearing glasses? You never see her wearing glasses. Only if I do lots of reading, I need to wear them. But I want you just to be aware, just quickly right now, if you're listening to this, I want you to be aware of what your thoughts actually are. Again, they're not right or wrong, good or bad. Just be aware of them. You may even want to write them down around you watching it. Again, maybe, oh, what is she going to say? What is she going to tell us? I don't know what the thoughts are. So I want you just to take note of them. And then I want you to imagine if you didn't have any thoughts and you were just sitting there looking at me talking. Now, that's probably something that we're not used to doing because we're so used to, oh, well, but I've got to go and do this. And, oh, just watch this for a second. Like these are all thoughts, right? But let me just give you a scenario, which I'm going to get you to see if you can practice. I'm just going to burp a little bit, which is always a good sign that energy is shifting somewhere. So that's really good. And also awareness is shifting. So let's just say that you're here looking at me and I'm looking at you. And I wonder if we just sat there and just had no thoughts, would we still be okay? I just want you to just see, would you be okay if you were just sitting here and you had no thoughts? Just quickly try it out and just sit there and just look at me and just go, again, is that also a thought? Am I okay? I want you to see that that's also a thought. So what if you were just sitting there and had none of that? Would it be quiet inside? Like, just look, is it quiet? Are you experiencing just a level of quiet for the first time? Maybe ever? Like, listen, is there anything? You can see now what we've done is we've confused the mind because it's trying to bring up something to say to you, but it can't. Because what the only thing the mind can do is tell you what you've given it, like what it already has inside of it. If you want new information, it doesn't have it. Like if you want to create a new thing, if you want to change a situation, if you want to do anything, you're not going to get it from here. This is literally, if you look at your mind like a computer is only as good as the information it's given, okay? If we want to get new information, it's not going to come from here. So if you look at a computer, what is the best way for us to get new information on our computers? It's from the internet if we want to search to get new information. Now, that's what I call the universal mind or the universal consciousness. It's that we can get access to anything. So if you have a situation that you're stuck in, let's just say, if you want to know how to get out of it, no amount of thinking will fix it. And you know what? If you try and fix it by thinking, you'll start to feel very stressed. You'll start to feel worried, concerned, because it doesn't have the information for you. Now, what we do in the universal mind work is that we have processes to get access to new information to then deal with situations. Now, also, we have a subconscious mind, which is 95% of our unconscious thinking. So you're only like the thinking that I showed you just before that was happening. Like, and if you say, I've got negative thoughts, I keep thinking bad things, that's only 5% of your actual thinking. So there's actually 95% of thinking going on that you don't even know about. And this is what people call self-sabotage, because it's like, I keep trying to do this, but I'm not doing it, or something keeps stopping me. It's because of the subconscious thinking that is holding you back, then running the show pretty much. So this is where with the universal mind, we get access to that too. And we literally rewrite this thinking and that thinking with the universal mind thinking, which is the internet. Like, who wants to have access to the internet within your own mind? You don't have to, obviously you don't have to search it, but in actual fact, there's processes to get that. So it's really, really interesting to find out what you can find out. So there's something that again popped into, and that's how the information comes through from the universal internet, universal consciousness, the universal mind, is it just pops up when you have a clear mind and you don't have thinking going on. And I was showing when I was talking before, just, you know, different levels of consciousness and how it depends on your feelings about certain things as to where your consciousness lies. So I will say right now that if anyone's dealing with really deep anxiety, depression, sadness, anything like that, it's actually a sign that you're ready to shift consciousness, to get new information, to give you different insights, different information. And I always know, like from the work that I've done with myself and with other people, is that the feelings are the key to get access to this new shift in consciousness, this new awareness. So let's just say, I'll give you one example of a consciousness. And one example would be, someone's being nasty or mean to me, let's just say that. And that's one level of awareness, and I don't know what to do about it. Someone's just saying horrible things, or they're doing horrible things. That's just one level of consciousness. It doesn't make us feel good. So then you say, I'm ready for a next shift in consciousness. I need to look at this and find out. Now, the next step in consciousness, or the universal mind in that, is, it's not about them. It's not about you, it's about them. They've got the issue, it's not your issue. Now if that feels good to you, that is your next shift in consciousness. And then you're like, yeah, I get that. That makes sense to me, that's their behavior, that's not my behavior. Now, when you're ready for another shift in consciousness, that won't feel good anymore. Okay, it doesn't mean that this is right and that is wrong. We're looking at different levels of consciousness, and we're so lucky to get access to this right now. It's so cool. So what you then do is, you've got to get out of your human mind and into the universal mind to get access to this next shift in consciousness. So what, again, I've been able to play around with as the next shift in consciousness. Now I'm talking about me. If this feels good to you, that's just where you're at. If it doesn't, that's not where you're at. You're at the different shift level of consciousness. It doesn't mean that just because I said that's this way, that's true, because it might not be true for you. And this is where you can have multiple truths happening at the same time for different people. The thing is that if you are ready for a new truth or a new shift in consciousness to come through, you will feel bad. And the feelings are saying you're ready for a shift in consciousness, right? So that to me wasn't feeling good, that concept of it's them, it's not you. And I'm like, well, that makes me powerless. That doesn't feel good to me if someone's behavior or what they do is continuing to happen. And I just go, oh no, that's not me, that's them. So I experimented on the next level of consciousness, which was, because I worked with so many people, I could actually see patterns of behaviors in people's lives. And it was really interesting for me to study these patterns and to go, well, why are these patterns there? It helped me to shift consciousness into, okay, so if they, if someone keeps experiencing the same people and the same situations in their lives, and then other people aren't, why? Like, I wanted to know why. And then the universal mind was giving me the next shift in consciousness, is that there is something within me that is an energy link. It's an energetic link to something else. And it's usually how you see yourself. So, and I've done this so many times with so many people, and so many lives have changed through doing this process, where you look at, well, if this is what they are saying and they're doing, where within me thinks that about myself? Now, sometimes it's not a direct link. Sometimes you have to do a bit of digging, but I'm going to say 100% of the time, I've found a link to what's happening out there and what's going on within us. And then how we, again, through the shift of the consciousness shift and the universal mind, giving us the new perspective and the brand new, rewriting the mind into, and you can't just, it can't be about positive thinking. It's actually got to completely rewrite it. So you can't see the old way of thinking. Like, if you would beat yourself up for not doing things properly or whatever, and then people are doing that, telling you you should have done this right way, and you can see this pattern, right? Then you've got to actually feel it, and you've got to know it. And that's what the consciousness work and the universal mind is literally completely rewriting not only the mind, but the body and the energy as well. And these, not only do these external, like I've had complete turnarounds with people who would then be picking on people to then be apologizing to people, or being, completely different. And so when people say to you, oh, you can't control people, well, actually you can, by going within yourself and seeing, where do you treat yourself like that? And so that's where the concept, because they're all concepts, all consciousness shifts are concepts. It's like the concept of it's about them, it's not about you, actually is the other way around in that consciousness shift. So I always say now for myself, if I'm noticing something going on, I go within. If I notice something going on, I go within. I deal with it, I rewrite it, which is all of the universal mind work. And then the external situations, people, things change. Now, that to me right now feels good, and it's my experience. If someone else's experience is different, that's okay, because that's just my experience. But if someone else is unhappy with the feeling of it's not about it's not about you, it's about them, and that's not feeling right, that's where you're ready for it. And it might not be the same as the shift in consciousness that I had, it might be another one, but that's where the universal mind, the universal consciousness, the information that it gives you will actually show you your next step in consciousness, the next level, which ultimately, isn't that what evolution is? Is we are evolving and growing and learning. That's just a very small insight into the universal mind work. So that's my ramblings for today. If you want to post below, like pop a comment on, again, if your experience is different, I absolutely honor that. It's okay that if you don't agree with that, because that just means that consciousness is not, again, where you are on your evolution. And there's no levels, they're just different experiences. Until the experiences you're having aren't feeling good, that's where you know you're ready for a different one, a new one. So instead of talking about levels, even the concept of enlightenment really is just an understanding of concepts, which then allows us to get more understanding of concepts. So it's actually just understandings of why we're here, what are we doing. You might even say how we have control over things, but in actual fact, once you get to that place, that doesn't feel good, and then something else takes its place again. And it's like we are evolving so quickly in our consciousness and our awareness of things that it's happening really fast, that I'm so excited, because we're starting to see different things happen in the world. Well, I'm not going to say in everyone's world, but when you have shifts in consciousness, you can't help but see something different. And then that, it's almost like it confirms to you what's going on within you. So again, if you're feeling stuck somewhere, look where you're stuck and see if you want to change it, and then experiment. I always say experiment with the world and see how it responds to the difference within you. But you have to feel it, you have to believe it, and it has to be a complete rewrite. You can't pretend, and you can't just cover it up with positive thinking. It has to be a complete rewrite of everything you believe, everything you see, everything that you know within you for the external to happen. And there's a couple of different processes and things that you can do with that. But I just wanted to say it's a super exciting time, because I don't really think we've ever had access to this information, the universal internet. Again, I'm starting classes next week, the Universal Mind classes, where I'll be teaching everyone how to do this, how to rewrite your mind, how to rewrite your body, how to shift your consciousness, but only if your current consciousness, your current experiences aren't feeling good. If you're not feeling good, it's a sign that you're ready to shift consciousness, and I'm here to celebrate you and to give you a process and a way that you can do that, which is super cool. But don't think that you're feeling bad is just something that you can't do anything about. It's a message and a sign that you're ready to evolve and to shift. And I say, if you do feel anxious, worried, scared, all that sort of thing, fearful, it's just a sign. And we do need to actually start getting used to celebrating that when that comes up, because it's really a big message and a sign for you that you are ready to shift consciousness into creating a different reality for yourself. But not only just for yourself, what I've seen again is the external changes, other people change, other situations change. And could you imagine if enough of us did this, that lots of things would change? And that's just the result. Sounds like it's not rocket science, but I think there just has to be enough of us to do this. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your loved ones. But at the end of the day, we can do it. I just think it's exciting that we can do it, and that we can actually start to change things really quickly by just doing the universal mind work. It's super fun. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone, wherever you are. And if you've got any questions, please pop them below. And also, if you are feeling bad about something, you can private message me or pop it below as well, and I can help you with what to do next around it and see how it can help you rather than be a hindrance to you. So nice to see you. Take care.